If you're a man who accepts the help from your wife or girlfriend, or don't you feel like a damsel in distress?
This is man-hating at its finest.
Men don't need men anymore.
Why are some men becoming less interested in casual sex? And what happens when sexual attention stops being the main motivation for dating? Are men losing interest, becoming more selective, or simply realizing that peace and independence can feel better than chasing validation? Stay with us until the end, because this shift says a lot about where modern dating is headed.
This is man-hating at its finest.
Women don't need men anymore. And not like, well, we don't need men in the world. Like, no, women can survive on their own without men. Like, they don't need their dad, they don't need their husband, they don't need a male in their life to sign things, to get them money, to get them banks, to give them access to properties and housing. They can do that on their own now. And this is exactly why we have a society that we do. It's not that we don't want to date men. It's that the men and the options we're realizing aren't that great.
I love when she says that women no longer need men for like to sign to own a home, to sign paperwork, to get properties. Honey, who built the properties? Who built the houses? Women no longer need men to do. I love that. I love that because they don't take a second to think about the entire infrastructure in which they live and the entire protection that they have, all the way up to military protection. It's all male-led.
For years, casual sex was often treated as a major incentive for men to pursue women. But that assumption may be changing. Some men are increasingly comfortable living without constantly chasing sexual opportunities, especially when dating brings rejection, drama, financial pressure, or emotional exhaustion.
Over 50 are almost twice as likely as women to marry like out of the West. So these guys are they've exhausted their options in the West or in their town or in their city or even in their country, and they're expanding their dating map. So what's actually even more interesting is that guys are actually they're starting younger doing this too. So like guys who are in their 20s and 30s are like, I'm not even going to start like dating in my community. I'm going to look abroad first, which is kind of insane to me. Like, you got to test the waters first before you even go out there.
The biggest change is that attraction doesn't automatically create pursuit anymore. A man can find a woman attractive and still decide not to approach, message, or pursue her. Desire may exist, but the motivation to chase isn't guaranteed. And once a man becomes comfortable alone, the calculation changes.
So I have a girlfriend that called me for some advice, right? She's in a relationship, living with her man, but the man does not want to have sex. Like, he's never initiating. Even if she explains to him, she wants some, it's just kind of like, he not in the mood, he don't want to do it. She doesn't think he's cheating. She doesn't think he's gay. Is that normal? Like, for me, I didn't really know what to tell her because I have never been faced with such a challenge. So I don't know. So I'm asking you, and especially men, if you all could comment, any man that has been in this situation or for some reason just doesn't feel like having sex with his partner, what is he seeing with that?
He can focus on work, fitness, hobbies, friends, travel, and personal goals without constantly worrying about whether he's getting romantic attention. That's where the traditional dating script starts breaking down.
Men are supposed to chase a woman, date her, spoil her, respect and adore her, and love her more. Anything outside of that is just weird. And if you're watching this as a woman, disagreeing with it, thinking it's too much or you don't deserve this, you have been brainwashed and you do not know your own worth. And you may even have internalized misogyny, which you definitely need to work on and heal that shit.
Nick asks, I'm often curious to why a woman says, I know my worth, especially when they have nothing to offer other than looks. Some don't even have anything going for them. What is their criteria for establishing their worth? Because women with a lot of baggage seem to have this, I know my worth illusions. All right. Bitches just talk. I mean, seriously. She says she knows her worth. What she's trying to do is sell you on the fact that that used up vagina she has, that she's put countless miles on, is somehow worth premium price, hoping that she can get you to buy the fact that she's worth something and then offer more. Look, Tom Ford prices are Tom Ford prices. And from time to time, Tom Ford will have a sale on stuff. That has to make you question, why is it really expensive in January and cheap and less expensive in April? But the price tends to stay up. Have you ever heard have you ever heard Bentley have a sale? Truly high value things never go on sale. They often go up. Ask yourself a simple question. Do females get better with age? Do they get more fresh, more fertile, nicer to deal with? So why would her value tend to increase with the more shit that she knows?
Men were often expected to initiate, pursue, spend money, and prove themselves to earn attention. But if the reward no longer feels worth the effort, some men simply opt out. They aren't necessarily angry or bitter. They may just decide that their time and peace are more valuable.
If you're a man that accepts the help from your wife or your girlfriend to pay the bills for your household because you have a plan in place to eventually become the sole provider for your family, then this message is not for you. But if you're a man who accepts the help from your wife or girlfriend, or you're a man who is seeking a relationship or marriage so that you can have help to pay the bills, don't you feel like a damsel in distress? Don't you feel like you need a knight in shining armor to come save you? You don't think that's feminine of you at all? I mean, where is your masculine ego that says, despite this economy, I'm going to be ambitious and I'm going to roll up my sleeves and stand on all 10 toes and figure out a way to beat this economy so that I can be the sole provider of my family, so that I can feel like a man? You guys got your wives and girlfriends out here working full time and paying half the bills, coming home to do everything else, and then you wonder why she argues with you like you're a chick on the street, or why she doesn't respect anything you say, or when you try to put your foot down, she laughs in your face. You have her operating in her masculinity, so now she feels masculine enough to challenge you, and you don't like it, and that's why you go out and you go cheat on her with other women, so that you can feel like a man. But those women don't know that you're making your wife or your girlfriend function in her masculine by depending on her for survival. What happened to the real men who don't depend on anyone for their survival? They depend on themselves. For me, I'd rather be alone and pay all my bills than to have another body that is a man by my side, not functioning in his full-on masculinity. That's just how I feel about it. Take it how you want it.
Dating apps can make this even more obvious. Endless swiping, ghosting, rejection, and unclear intentions can turn dating into an exhausting routine. After enough disappointing experiences, some men stop chasing altogether.
A lot of these women are never satisfied, and you wonder why men don't want to get married. You wonder why men are hesitant on long-term relationships. You wonder why men are taking a step back on putting themselves in certain predicaments. It's because of women like this. These are the same women who just wake up one day and want to graduate from their marriage. They come to the conversation, oh, I want a man that's a provider. I want a man who pays all the bills. I want to make sure I can be a stay-at-home wife and a stay-at-home mother. This man has provided you all those things, and you still have a problem. And this is why I always say to these women who exude this ungrateful behavior that, girl, you better be careful, because if he have any kind of female co-workers at one of them jobs, they will be glad to trade positions with you.
And that can create a surprising reaction. When women become accustomed to receiving male attention, a sudden decline can feel confusing. The question becomes, why aren't men trying anymore? But men have their own answer. They don't have to.
So what I'm telling women is, do not, if you want a family, if you want a husband, do not allow yourself to get to a point where you hit that wall. You are 37, you are looking in the mirror, whatever age that is, and you see a different face and you see your youth going away from you and you start to panic and you can't find yourself in the mirror. Don't let that be the case while you're still on the hunt for a man, or you are going to feel inadequate, depressed, anxious, and rush in to do something toxic to your body to compensate for that. If women just listened more to what people like me are saying, And in your 20s, instead of burying in the career stuff and burying in everything else, you acknowledged the reality that what you have is going to go away. The fertility, the youthful beauty.
A relationship or sexual connection isn't automatically valuable simply because it's available. Men can decide what fits their lives just as women can. If someone doesn't want casual dating, they can walk away. If they don't want a relationship, they can remain single.
Question. So I think I speak for a lot of women. Where are the men that can't breathe when you talked to us? Couldn't breathe when we were touching you. When you were suffocating when we weren't next to you. Where are those men? Because we want them. We want you to not be able to breathe when we're talking to you because you're so consumed by the thought of us that you are thinking about us and suffocating when we're not next to you. I don't know. Is it too much tax for it? I don't think so.
That doesn't mean men no longer want intimacy. Many still do. The difference is that intimacy may no longer be enough to convince them to accept a situation they don't actually want. And that's the important distinction. Wanting something isn't the same as being willing to chase it at any cost.
Nowadays, you see women waiting. They're waiting. Well, I want to focus on my career. I want to focus on my degree. I want to be successful. Nothing wrong with that. But what happens is they get to 30 and they have an epiphany. They're like, oh shit, I got to hurry up. Mm-hmm. Like we had a guest on here, I won't say the name, timeline. 35 years old, childless, no husband. You're at that, we call it hitting the wall. Yeah. And then they become negative around it and start saying men are shitty, men are douchebags. And then they get in their 40s and they end up on TikTok talking shit at 40 years old, which is pointless, right? What did you do in your 20s? And this is another thing. It's interesting on planning. Watch this, Sean. And I know you get this. You talk to men, you say plan. You counsel women, plan. I ask a woman on the show, what's your 2 to 5 year plan? I don't know. You don't know.
But yeah, you want a quality man.
You're 35 years old.
Woman's 35, she ain't got kids yet, she's really panicking. So you start to say things like kids, family. You can mention that shit. Listen.
Some men may eventually return to dating. Others may want serious relationships rather than casual encounters. And some may remain single because they genuinely enjoy their independence. This isn't necessarily a war between men and women. It's a shift toward greater choice on both sides. Women can decide who they want. Men can decide who they pursue. Neither side is guaranteed attention.
I have to say I feel sorry for some of you men out there in the dating world because it is 2025. I'm a 38-year-old female and these women out here even confuse me. Some women out here putting Jesus in their bio, but then you go look at their stuff and it's nothing but thirst traps, lustful, seductive content. I mean, the modern day woman calls serving your husband oppression, but yet will have no problem going out and serving a male boss and cry that that's empowerment. And real feminine energy is not sexual marketing like the modern day woman might tell you. Y'all are getting seduction and femininity like completely confused. And I've said it before, but a lot of women have this long laundry list of unrealistic criteria that they want in a man, but yet they bring nothing to the table. And we don't talk about that. We tell the women, no, you are a queen, you will be treated as such, but we're not teaching women how to be wives these days. And I would go out on a limb and say that most of the women out in the modern day dating culture do not actually have standards, they have entitlement. And accountability, a woman's kryptonite. Some of you ladies are going to die alone, still blaming men for the choices that you make.
So, are women really going insane because some men no longer prioritize casual sex? The biggest story is that the old incentive structure may be weakening. When men become comfortable without constantly seeking sexual validation, dating has to offer more than attraction alone. It has to offer genuine connection, respect, compatibility, peace, and something worth choosing. Because when a man realizes he can live perfectly well without chasing every opportunity, the chase stops being automatic and starts becoming a choice.
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest